welcome everyone to Juneau Rollergirls, live from Centennial Hall here in Juneau, Alaska. It's the Legiskative session. It's the 4th season of Juneau Rollergirls. This is the 2nd game of the season. We're happy to have you on board here as the Filibusters go against Law and Disorder today. Good evening, everyone. I'm in decline, and with me, Money Honey.
Hey.
How are you doing, Money Honey?
I'm so excited that I forgot my words immediately.
The words
tonight.
in the mouth and the words. It's fine. We're going to have plenty of time to have lots of words tonight, talking all about roller derby as it's coming to you live right here from Centennial Hall in Juneau. It's an exciting match because this is a match where we've got a team that's really trying to hone their skills for the first of its kind travel session that they're going to do, going up against kind of an all-star roster of other Juneau Roller Girls.
That's
so
right.
there's really a fun thing happening here.
Yep, this is a Juneau Roller Girls mashup, but we've got the whole extra roughs plus their traveling team that's going to be taking off. We'll talk more about that. And we have some guest skaters as well from Petersburg Ragnarok Rollers.
Yeah, amazing. It's going to be really fun, and we're going to see the Juneau Roller Girls as they come in right now. Here come the teams for the player intros as they're happening right now. It's going to be Law and Disorder coming up first. Money Honey, take it away with the intros on Law and Disorder.
We've got guest skaters, 00, Pink Slammin'. She's from Ragnarok Rollers. Number 180, Scara Unitely. Number 2, Fatty Duke.
All right.
You've seen her a few times. Number 247, Bitter Glitter. Number 420, that would be April Mayhem. Number 71, first time skating with the Juneau Roller Girls, is Heavy Metal.
All right, long-time skater, but first time in about.
That's right. Number 99, you know her. She's the front blocking team, and that would be T. Crowd favorite, OB1, Peach Clobber. And that is your red team, Law and Disorder tonight.
Boy, they're stacked with a couple of really good jammers in there, huh? And also a really solid blocking wall of blockers. So that's a really strong team there.
No doubt about it. And also, I'm looking forward to see how Heavy Metal and Pink Slammin', how they're going to roll into this team aspect.
It's going to be great to see them out there. Coming up next, we're going to see the team of Filibusters. And as we said, this is a team that's going to be traveling down to a competitive battle down in Bremerton, Washington, coming up next weekend. So it's coming right up. They're going to be going up against other teams, international and national teams. And first one up here is number double. Oh, we got Just Julie first coming up. She's the captain here, and she's coming up number 1. She's a fantastic blocker, an incredibly skilled skater, and a powerful skater as well. Coming up next after that, yes, there she is coming around. It is Roland Marvel. Skatey Bright's up next. Skatey Bright, just an absolute wall there in the blocking wall, and she is absolutely skilled and enthusiastic skater. We got Titan Young. We'll get a chance to talk to Titan Young at halftime as well, and she's number 25 there in white. After Titan Young, it's poutine. Oh, poutine. It's so delicious, but not that good for you. All right, and there
Never
you go.
had it.
Bonnie Flash is coming up next. Bonnie Flash, a brand new skater. Do you know about Bonnie?
I don't. I am excited to see her tonight.
So there you go, number 62. And before you, that is none other than Kim Bustable. You'll be seeing her jamming all night long. Now, as we were saying, this is a traveling team. It's going to be going down to Bremerton, Washington next weekend, and we'll talk a little bit about the other teams they're going to face. But this is a pared down roster here for both teams, and that's because this is a traveling team. They want to get to know each other. They want to figure out rotations and all that. But normally, what's the size of a normal team?
Normal benching for a game would be 14 skaters. Right now they're working with 8 or 9. So we are going to see this rotation. We'll see them a lot of play.
Coming up next, the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
section of the national anthem there.
That's by Debbie Crapo. She's done it before for us as well.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to get on with the proceedings here in just a second, but first there's a very special presentation from JPD Police Chief Bryce Johnson. He's going to be talking all about the Take Back the Night program here that's happening in Juneau right now. We're going to turn the mic over to him in just a moment here as he wants to talk a little bit about that.
Roller Derby event. I'd like to welcome our special VIP guest, Chief Bryce Johnson. He's been in law enforcement for 23 years, and he's been our chief of police for 2 years. The Juneau Rollergirls would like to present him with his very own roller derby name and shirt. He is the Slammer number 911. Chief Johnson will also be doing our very first jam whistle this evening to get us started, and he's also here to talk to us a little bit about Take Back the Night. So I'm going to turn the microphone on over.
Thank you, and I will, well, that's loud. I will try to be brief also. I would be ashamed of myself if I didn't mention, though, because this is the best place to do it. We still have 3 vacancies for police officer positions, and we need more female police officers that can handle themselves, and this is the perfect place. I'll expect to see you all testing March 11th through 13th. So now we've done that. Take Back the Night. We have a very dubious ranking for abuse, sexual abuse, crimes in Alaska, as we usually top the nation. And Take Back the Night is the 1st of April, and it's about taking that back. And I'm reminded of when I was a younger police officer. I worked at a jurisdiction. There was a mountain that kind of looked over the city. It was called Ensign Peak. And there was a trail that went up to the top of this mountain. There was a big monument up on top of it, and people used to go up there at nighttime and do things that you shouldn't do up there at nighttime. So I'd drive around every now and again. I'd go up there. So one night I was up at the trailhead, and I heard all these coyotes. They were howling, which was kind of unusual because we didn't usually have coyotes up there. So there's these coyotes howling, and I knew there were some folks up there. So I jumped out of my car and I started going up the trail. I got about halfway up, and I saw this kid running down the mountain. And I've always loved my job, so I kind of tucked myself into the kind of the shadows where you couldn't see me, and I had my great big bright police flashlight. And this kid came running down the trail, and as he got about 4 or 5 feet from me, I came out and turned my bright light on, and I said stop. I guess I should have said freeze, but I said stop. And I thought I killed this kid. I feel guilty a little bit now because he screams, his face goes bright white. He almost had a heart attack, and I can just see him just panting, and I've scared him to death, and I almost felt bad. So I'm talking to him for a little bit, and he's telling me what he's doing up there after hours when the place is closed. And after we talked for 3 or 4 minutes, all of a sudden I see another person come running down the trail. And so they catch up to us, and it's his date that he'd taken up there. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, really? The coyotes started howling, so you took off running and ditched your date up on top of the trail? So this is kind of what Take Back the Night is. We cannot ditch these people as the coyotes are howling at them. So we take back the night, we help them, we support them, and we're here for these great people. And so thank you.
Yeah.
A message there from the Juneau Police Captain Bryce Johnson, who now I think is going to actually blow the whistle for the first jam. Pretty exciting little honor there. I want to get to do that someday. Yeah.
I've never done it, so
I like I like the name they gave him too, the Slammer. Yeah, I love it.
The message is really important.
Very important, absolutely.
And in the Juneau Rollergirls and in roller derby, a special empowerment specifically for women and doing those kinds of things, it just makes sense that he was here tonight, and I'm really happy that we're taking that initiative.
So much of what roller derby is empowerment of women out there using their physicality in a powerful way, and it's great to see. All right, well, hey, for the first jammers coming up here, it's going to be Combustible against April Mayhem, a classic matchup. This is a great way to start a bout.
I wish the camera had my facial expressions because I'm super excited.
That can be arranged. All right, well, coming up, jam number 1. Again, it's the jammers you watch. The 2 ladies with the stars on their heads are the ones you watch. If you're new to the game, those are the ones to kind of keep track of the game as easy as possible. Every time on the second time through the pack, every time they pass a skater on the opposing team, they score a point. That's as simple as possible, a way to explain the scoring that happens in roller derby.
That is correct.
What do we got going on here? It's got, we've got, well, April Mayhem once again getting out to that early lead, and there she is through. She's declared lead jammer. The lead jammer gets the power of calling the jam, which is a great strategic advantage to have.
Absolutely. When you see her coming in and for her scoring pass, she's going to immediately decide in that moment to call it off.
And at that moment, she went through. She had passed 3 skaters. Kimbustable had not passed any. Therefore, she scored 3. Actually, as you're pointing out, Kimbustable did pass 1 skater.
That's right. So a lot of times when I'm watching roller derby, I'm paying attention to particularly the jam ref. So tonight's jam ref is guest jam ref Brohican from Rage City, as well as Major P. Rick. Those guys are going to tell me who the points are.
All right, the next jam has just started, and we got Peach Clobber there in the yellow with the red star, trying to fight through as Kimbustable has been put on the bench for a major penalty at the end of the last bout, last jam. Sorry. So here comes Peach Clobber. She's come through. She's been declared lead jammer. There's no other jammer on the track yet. As you can see, Kimbustable there in the corner of your screen in the sin bin. She's looking to get out on the track, but is not told that she can do it yet. Now here she comes. Boy, that is quite a blocking wall right there, and that's what we were talking about. Skatey Bright and Just Julie. That is a tough wall to get through.
Now what we have now is, since Kimbustable just came out of the box, then she still has to make her initial pass before she can start accruing any scoring points. So we've got a full lap ahead with Peach Clobber. So she's going to use that to her advantage for scoring.
And you can see she was sort of kind of taking her time there, you know, kind of sizing up what was happening with the wall of blockers in front of her. She knew that Kimbustable was coming on her tail there, though, so she called the jam as soon as she scored a few points. Right now, Law and Disorder is ahead 9-1 over Filibusters, and we're just 3 jams in. That's a very low score so far. If you've watched roller derby before, you know there's got a lot of points yet to come in this bout. So 9-1 now, Law and Order in red over Filibusters in white.
So up on the jammer line is 00 Pink Slammin' from Petersburg Ragnarok Rollers. Nice Southeast representation. Ragnarok. And she is up against Roland Marvel.
Boy, and she cut through there. Ragnarok Roller representing there. She came through on the inside, almost made it through, but just at the last second got cut down there. She's weaving her way back through again. She is tough. Tell you what, she's got a big physical presence. She's tall, powerful, and not afraid to mix it up, as you can see.
Just Julie, number 11, is always a fierce blocker. She is always the last line of defense for Juneau Rollergirls. This is an expected position play for her. Not surprised that Pink Slammin' got a little bit of tied back with Just Julie there on the last bit. She's
kind of like the linebacker, you know, she's that last line there, and also sort of one of the main coordinators of what's happening among the defense.
Pink Slammin's been sent to the box, so we have a power jam for Roland Marvel, number 1-3. She's up against the whole 4-pack of blockers for the Law and Disorder. So Filibusters being blocked.
And what is the Roland Marvel? She's using that kind of the step technique. Is there a name for the
juking?
Juking is what that's called. All right, so she's sort of getting up on her tiptoes there and trying to run her way through a bit. You know, April Mayhem is one of the finest purveyors of juking that I've seen, right? That is her high-stepping maneuver that she does. But you can see as she tries to step through,
she's held.
Yeah, she's held.
Basically stopped until she can just keep moving, and she's got to just fully pull herself.
Now here comes, now Pink Slammin', meanwhile, she brings a lot of physicality to her move through the blockers here. So you can see just got forced out of the track there. Man, tough blocking happening tonight already.
She's got to be recycled all the way back and reset herself and go right back up against the whole entire blocking team of Filibusters. And that's the jam.
She got through there on the inside, and that's the jam. Now, what are we seeing here as we come through on this? She's moving to the outside. Now, what is she trying to get back on the inside? And she sort of split the defense there. But there's Just Julie. As you were saying, man, is she tough?
Yeah, Just Julie is not going to let her go easy. And once Just Julie fell, there's no penalty called by the refs, and so she's up and she's going to keep going.
Back to live action here as the next jam has started. Oh, a massive hit there put on
Titan
to
Young,
Peach Clobber. Yeah.
Took down Peach Clobber right there in a full-on face-to-face knockdown.
That was a little nasty. All right. Peach Clobber's got some speed now, but Kim Bustable is right on her tail, coming around behind. Peach Clobber is not through. I thought she was through, but the blocking held.
That's
and Kim
right.
Bustable has come through, although Kim Bustable is not lead jammer. She just scored 4 points. Kim Bustable, that is, in white. B4U, the number there.
Skatey
Meanwhile-
Bright just handed Peach Clobber another hit
Oh.
just as she was looking to kind of get some status on the calling off the jam,
Yeah.
because Peach Clobber was lead jammer.
Right now the score is marked at 17-15 with Law and Disorder in red in the lead. We're going to get a few more points here, maybe put on the board as that last jam is tallied. But 17-15, basically almost a tie game right now, happening as the Filibusters have just 2 points trailing Law and Disorder.
In roller derby, a lot of times we do see a lot of runaway scores, but my favorite is watching Juneau Rollergirls be challenging each other, especially in these matchups. So it's nice to see a close score because it makes for a more fun game for the crowd.
There's April Mayhem trying to fight her way on the inside right now. Here she goes and moves around on the inside. She's been declared lead blocker. She's out. You can see her looking back and kind of sizing up what the wall looks like, what the defense looks like as she comes around here. She's coming in fast.
In the meantime, she's coming back to the back of the pack, and Roland Marvel is still working her way through and finally out.
Here comes April Mayhem. She's now on Roland Marvel's tail. She's lead blocker. She scored 4 points there. And April Mayhem calls it.
So
There's a bit of a discussion there with the bench for April Mayhem, trying to figure out the best strategy of whether or not to call that jam. I think she felt that she could have scored a lot more points there, but ended up calling it early.
There's a lot of communication that they're working out, and this is only game 2 of season 4. So, you know, we see this as a little bit of like extra showtime practice.
Law and Disorder now ahead 21-15 over Filibusters in white, Law and Order in red. And Fatty Duke is there for Law and Order. Trying to pass off the panty. Meanwhile, B4U, that's Kim Bustable, has come through as the lead jammer. There's been a panty pass over to Titan, or to T. T has come through. She's the blocker and now puts that star in her head. She's now declared the jammer for Law and Disorder in red.
Now, the only reason that she can even become a jammer is that she's the pivot, which means she's the next in line, or the #1 blocker per se. So only the jammer can pass the panty to only the pivot, which is delineated by the stripe on the helmet.
So there's one blocker out there. It's two people with special panties on their helmets. One's the jammer and one is the pivot, and the pivot can become the jammer with that panty pass we just saw there.
So we have
that panty pass is only for the ones that go on the helmet.
That's right.
Nothing else going on out there. All right, coming up next, we've got Peach Clobber once again fighting her way through in red there for Law and Disorder. And we have Roland Marvel, really being put down right then on her backside by T. Setting back up. T is set back up. Roland Marvel again. Oh, my goodness. I don't think Roland Marvel's going to win that battle too many times. T is a tough competitor.
You know, the thing is, you go down, you get back up. You go down, you get back up. The relentlessness of jammers and the challenge that they're on the track for is to just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. That's right. Meanwhile, we got Peach Clobber. She was almost through, but had to cut the inside of the track there, so she has to go back and reset. She's back in.
She didn't cut the track as a penalty. She yielded to the skater that knocked her out and started back at the beginning, behind them to try to approach them again and get through.
Rolling tally right now is 30-19 Law and Disorder over Filibusters. And you can see the wall there setting back up for the Filibusters, all in white there. That's Skatey Bright on the right. And she's holding that wall together as Peach Clobber tries to approach. Peach Clobber sees that wall and says, you know what? Live to fight another day.
Yep.
Gonna call it.
She had a full line of the Filibuster blockers, and this is the team that's going to be going down to the Wild West Showdown in Bremerton next week. So having them, really working really hard on those walls, and it obviously caused Team Law and Disorder to shut it down.
At that point, too, Law and Disorder had really already done its damage with 35-19 now, so they had extended their lead at that point, and I think the Peach Clobber said, you know, that's going to be good for this jam.
Yeah.
We'll get another one going here in a minute. And
right.
It is starting right now as we're back to live action here with April Mayhem cutting around on the outside. It's just amazing to me how many times April Mayhem, by the first turn, is already past all the blockers. It's just an amazing knack she has to weave through and get through that blocking line.
You would think, as that they've skated together, Mayhem's been in Juneau Rollergirls from the beginning, you would think that those teammates
would have figured it out by now.
Would have figured out how to shut that down.
Well, that's, you know, a lot of that's just athletic talent and knowing the game and understanding it the way she does. I mean, she's just absolutely one of the premier skaters here on Juneau Rollergirls. All right, Peach Clobber now is the jammer. Boy, I'm just realizing right now that you gotta think that fatigue is going to start setting in here pretty quick with these very limited rosters. I mean, they are on the track almost constantly here with only 3 subs coming in.
Yeah, actually, looks like Team Filibuster actually only has 2 that take a break in between jams, and Team Law and Disorder has 3. So they're rotating them pretty actively. If you're not blocking, you're jamming. If you're not jamming, you're resting a jam, and then you're back in.
And it's not just the skating that's the physicality, which, of course, if you've just skated before and just done some skating, there's a lot of physicality involved. But then you're also like, you know, hand-to-hand combat as well.
That's right.
So it's a real amazing mixture of what's going on there.
Titan
by the way,
Young just called that jam off.
And the score, by the way, has been adjusted. They've adjusted the score for Law and Disorder down a couple notches. It's now standing at 23-27 with Law and Disorder in the lead by 4 points. They had earlier said that it was 35, but that happens every now and then in roller derby. You'll see the refs come over, talk to the scoreboard, and make sure that there's adjustments that happen as they go along. So 23-27 now, Law and Disorder in red is in the lead, and we're into the next jam here with Before You. She always seems to be before everyone else. It's Kim Bustable out in white there. You can see her coming around and seizing the day as she comes through and tries to get over through the wall here.
We have a power jam for Kim Bustable. We have, it looks like Peach Clobber spent some time in the box at the end of the last jam, so she's standing and now returning to the track to start her initial pass.
That was a really interesting play that happened there as Before You was coming around really quickly. Fatty Duke seemed to have it in her sights, but Before You was able, you know, Kim Bustable was able to come to the outside of the track and maneuver around the entire wall. Pretty exciting maneuver there by Kim Bustable. So 33-27 now, however, Filibusters have come into the lead with that last jam. She had a power jam situation there and took advantage of it. That's kind of one of the best jammers out there, one of the people you really want out there in a power jam situation is going to be Kim Bustable, and she took advantage of it there. So 33-27 now, Filibusters with their first lead of the match over Law and Disorder.
16 minutes, 49 seconds into the first period.
Coming up next,
countdown from the first
the countdown, yeah. Here we go.
Correction.
All right, and Roland Marvel, good to see her out of that pack there. She was really having a hard time going up against Tia the last time, and she's gonna come around now.
Now she's got the action from Pink Slammin' on her back. Katie Bright is coming in from the box and just kind of leading that up and slowing her down.
So Roland Marvel called it pretty immediately. I don't know that she even scored a point. I think there were no points scored in that.
Looking at the refs, and I see no point change.
So it's Filibusters ahead by 6 points, 33-27 right now. Filibusters in white ahead of Law and Disorder with 16 minutes left in this first half. And we're on to the next jam as they're lining up and getting the panty on the head there. We got Kim Bustable going up against Peach Clobber. They are old rivals. They know each other. Look at that. They're already a little bit of extracurricular there. And Peach Clobber sees an inside move, but she cannot get there. Meanwhile, Kim Bustable meeting the blockers. Oh, a nice block there. And it's a switch of the panty as April Mayhem
I did not see that coming.
She's got the panty on. She's the jammer, but has not been declared lead jammer, sorry, and that's why Kim Bustable called it, because she had gotten in the lead. A fun strategic move there.
Yeah, actually it didn't change the score. There was no score from either jammer at that moment, but the action of them, you know, putting into play strategies, that's a really key part. And even if it doesn't work the first time, they could try it again. I mean,
It
we've
seemed
seen
to
that
work,
in football.
though. It did seem to work because it seemed like it forced Combustible's hand there, though.
It did.
Even though
Actually,
she
you're
was
right,
the
it
lead
did.
jammer, it forced her hand to call that jam earlier than she had wanted to. So
We've
here we
got-
go. Next one underway here with Roland Marvel again out for the Filibusters, and April Mayhem keeping that panty on her head for the Law and Disorder. And April Mayhem is in through first again.
I see some action with the lead jammers, but what I'm really watching is the Filibusters blocking wall. You've got Poutine, you've got Just Julie, you've got Titan Young, and Bonnie Flash. They have a very effective wall. I'm really impressed, and I think they're going to represent well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can see the teamwork happening and the communication being developed here. You can see them shaking out a few ideas as they're going through this match as well.
So
really
we've
interesting
got-
to watch this here.
Got this wall block, and they are just fighting and holding back. And they're not going to let her through. They fought. Now you have 3 skaters there in the white blocking April Mayhem.
So she got through there, but it held up the match enough for her that she had to end up calling before scoring points. Again, it's 33-30 now. Law and Disorder behind by 3 points. Filibusters in the lead. Next, Skatey Bright coming up as a jammer. Great to see Skatey Bright getting out there as a jammer. Here she goes. She's lead jammer right now. And she's going up against Peach Clobber as the jammer for Law and Disorder. So here comes Skatey Bright coming around fast on the inside. And she's already scored some points. She got through there, scored some points. Oh, but she cut through a little early, and she's gone to the sin bin. So explain what happened there.
So it was very clear. She cut across on the inside of the line, and she went right back in front of other skaters. Brohican, jam ref for Team White, said, nope, you're in trouble, go to the box.
So
and
once you're forced out of the track, you have to go back behind the whole pack in order to reestablish yourself.
you have to go you have to get in behind the person who knocked you out, or
I
in
see.
general, it's always a safe bet, just go in and start over.
Gotcha. Okay, she didn't quite do that, and so that's why she's in the sin bin. She's now popped back out of the sin bin, and she is coming back around through. Peach Clobber is scoring points right now and taking it easy as she skates around. You can see she's sort of taking a little bit of a relaxed, lugubrious approach here.
A little, Law and Disorder is down 1 blocker, so you've got Bonnie Flash, Pink Slammin' T.
Oh, what a hit there.
Woo! Yeah, you've got Pink Slammin' and T right now representing Law and Disorder. So we are light on the red, and Team Filibuster is going to definitely be taking advantage of that. 2 blockers in the box for Team Law and Disorder.
So right now, Peach Clobber is just having to fight her way through, keep scoring as much as she can to even out what the scoring is going to happen
right.
for Filibusters with that 2-skater advantage. Now the skaters have come out of the sin bin. One of them has. Fatty Duke's still in the sin bin right now.
We have another panty pass to T, but Skatey Bright called the jam.
Under a flurry of whistles there, that is called. And here she comes through on the inside, Peach Clobber, and here comes that hit. She's kind of doing a little maneuver
Julie,
here, and ooh.
If you just saw that, Just Julie was like zoned in, and she's already like, you're done.
She knew
You're
it.
going down. That was fantastic.
But
What
it
a
was also
shot.
great to see the get up and go spirit of Peach Clobber there, the fortitude to fight through there, get back up, and kept scoring points. 42-42, we got a score of tied score right now. Filibusters and Law and Disorder knotted up at 42 apiece.
We have first-time skater for JRG Heavy Metal. She came off, kind of bumped on the jam, so she bumped out, and now she is heading to the box. So her first trip as a jammer is to the box. That's okay.
She got out quick and early. Just seemed to lose her balance a little bit there on a quick bump.
Combustable took a shot on her right as the whistle went, so that's fair game.
That's veteran play, is what that is. That's
Yeah.
welcome to the game, rookie.
It's pretty much.
That's right. Yeah.
And we have a 3-wall right cycling and keeping Combustable back. Let's see if she can get back around. Nice
So
job.
maneuverable. She's just so light on her feet and so quick on her skates. So here she comes back around through, trying to keep to the inside track, going to do a little bit of weaving.
Skatey Bright blocking for Filibuster was
Boy,
trying to do a
great
little.
block and wall there, yeah.
Yep, now that whole wall of 4 is not letting her around. One of the things that Rolling APOC just yelled was no pack.
Here comes Heavy Metal coming up, trying to score some points for her team as well, for Law and Disorder.
Pack
And
is back, so we're running.
Combustible's looking over her shoulder, trying to figure out if she needs to call this or not. She's the lead jammer and can call it. Here comes Heavy Metal coming through.
All right.
Done
Not
well.
lead jammer, but she is fast. I have had the pleasure of skating with Heavy Metal, so I know that she has some great skills that she's developing, and Juneau Rollergirls will benefit long term with her on the team.
So here's that start, yeah, with Heavy Metal coming up here. Let's see a little bit of.
Somebody took a shot, and that looks like Combustable immediately popped her out, and then Just Julie might have done a little bit of a low block that just got missed.
That was interesting because Heavy Metal almost used that to her advantage. That quick step around the side, she almost got away with it, but lost her balance as it was coming around to the corner there. But pretty fun, and yeah, welcome to the big leagues, Rook. Okay,
yeah.
Coming up next here, we got Roland Marvel once again going against April Mayhem as the jammers, and Roland Marvel taking a hit and taking a second hit by Peach Clobber.
That would be
And
Peach Clobber did a little tripping there, so she is heading off to the box.
They sort of indicated that she leaned in a little with her shoulder, maybe as well. Is that
actually? I'm watching the refs, and it was a little trip at the skate.
Trip, okay. So Trip gets her into the sin bin. She's one of the blockers this time, so their jammer is still on, and that's April Mayhem going up against Roland Marvel.
With those penalties, even if it's not intentional, the refs, it doesn't matter. Intentional or unintentional, they're going to call a safe issue, which tripping generally is a safety issue. It's not intentional. Nobody's upset. They're just going to spend a little time in the box.
Hey, cool off a little bit, yeah. And here comes April Mayhem. Boy, her balance is amazing, right? I mean, I marvel at her balance all the time.
I marvel at the constant ability of those blockers to slow her down just a little bit. A little bit of a gut check for her, like, oh, I got Just Julie and the rest of the Skady Bright team in front of me. But she does it.
She's got a great, in basketball they talk about guys who have great first steps. Yes. Which means that the guy's guarding them, and all of a sudden he's past them. And she's got that ability, that great first step.
I am not a sports person, but I know exactly what you're talking about. That racers, football players, basketball specifically, yeah.
Yeah, she finds a hole and gets through it, and she's demonstrating that right now as she is scoring points here. She just scored another 5 points. And the score right now, by the way, Filibusters at 65 and Law and Disorder at 55 with just over 7 minutes left in this half.
Now what's going on right now is the whole entire team is basically bridging to keep action with that jammer. And then now they're being reformed to start the next round or to call the jam. So
now
what's the score?
There was a little. Well, it's 65 to 60 right now is what it's showing, and a little bit of fatigue there I saw in April Mayhem's face coming around there. It's getting to the end of the half here.
Maybe frustration less than fatigue.
And here's that beginning of that jam here as Roland Marvel gets around to the outside, and here's that hit by Peach Clobber. First hit,
and watch the trip.
Right there with the back skate. As you said, unintentional, but but Roland Marvel did trip over that skate, so an advantage was gained, even if it was unintentional.
Well, and the thing is it's the discretion of the refs, which they're very well trained. Let's just say that right now, that they go for what happened, what did they see, and what was the aftermath. That's their kind of 3 steps. So if they determine that caused a skater to lose relative position or create an advantage for the opposing team, they're going to call it if it's illegal. Now, sometimes things happen, they don't see it, we just keep playing.
We got a timeout on the floor here as some tired skaters out there with these limited rosters. I gotta think that these skaters are looking for a little bit of a break here in the action to catch a little wind here.
Or it's time for a ref. So what I see is I don't see a clarification if this is a team timeout. Oh, I do see Rolling APOC indicate this is an official timeout, which means they've called it, not
so
one
they're
of the
discussing
teams.
Score or discussing something they need to talk over and figure out.
Yeah, a little ref powwow in the middle to say, all right, is everybody on the same page? When we called that last penalty, what did you see? This is a really important thing that the refs are getting trained on, so the organization as a whole improves.
That last jam, by the way, Law and Disorder scoring well. 18 points in that one jam, going up against the Filibusters 5 points. So they caught up a lot of ground. They were getting behind a little bit there, and now it's Filibusters 66, Law and Disorder 60, with just over 6.5 minutes left in this first half of action here at Centennial Hall in Juneau, Alaska. It's Juneau Rollergirls, and this is the Legiskative session here happening. And what are you seeing so far? Are there surprises happening so far? I'm seeing a lot of teamwork and a lot of development of teamwork, but it's interesting to see how strong Law and Disorder is coming out as well here.
Law and Disorder is representing. I'm really impressed. I really expected to see Filibusters just really take off and just jump right from the beginning, but they could be just reserving their energy, playing some things out, which is a good thing for when they get back to the, go on to competition with the WFTDA and the, other things that they're going to be doing, traveling.
Speaking of which, back to live action now as that timeout is now over. We've got our Petersburg skater coming up here for Law and Disorder. That's Pink Slammin'. She's in the yellow panty there in the back with the star, and she's going up against Titan Young, number 25 there in white, who has been declared lead jammer.
Yeah. That's a matchup I don't think we've seen yet.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen it either. Now, while Titan Young is lead jammer, you can see Pink Slammin' has come through as the one on her feet and
Titan
kind of
calls it before Pink even got back to the backside of the pack. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, hey. But that's the advantage of being declared lead jammer. That's why you want to get out early and you want to get out first as lead jammer. You really end up being the one that can dictate the action in each jam. Here's what happened here. We've got
nice
a little bit
breakup of the wall by, looks like T. That kind of set everything off into chaos. And
bit of a
that's
domino
how
effect there,
Pink Slammin' got back out of there. So good cooperation with her teammates.
All right, live action resumes here as we've got some skaters on the ground. That was Fatty Duke, lost her balance there as she was trying to really deliver a blow. You can see April Mayhem coming through, but it's Combustible that has gotten out early in the lead here and is coming through, meeting a red wall, and has met it and calls it.
Bitter Glitter, T, Heavy Metal, and Fatty Duke all trying to hold back.
And did.
Yes.
Yeah, well done. Combustible's tough, so light on her feet, so quick on her skates, but a solid wall like that, she doesn't have the body mass that can absolutely blow through a wall like that.
And that's why this is a team sport. This isn't just about the jammers, and that's a lot of times where, yes, they're the scoring ones, but without their blockers, nobody scores.
All right, coming up now, we've got Peach Clobber in red there as the jammer, going up against, once again, Titan Young, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right, coming up in white there for the Filibusters. Oh, spun around. Peach Clobber absolutely spun around there. That was a pretty wild hit. And out
now
here,
we're seeing
Titan Young coming
right.
up, and Titan Young is declared lead jammer. Oh, Peach Clobber almost had it on the inside. She slaps her knee as she goes down because she realizes she almost had it on the inside.
She's
there.
Actually out of bounds, running around on the inside. So she is avoiding the penalty by coming back and re-entering the pack.
She's talking it over with her pivot there. That one moves. There's just a little bit of frustration, I think, happening there on that side of I think that's a little bit of Filibusters doing a little filibuster on her there.
She's starting out on the outside of the pack.
This is just Julie. Who else delivering a blow?
Yeah, definitely. So she's going to work herself back out. She's outside, gone
little
down.
Figure skating maneuver there, a pirouette. And, yeah, just Julie delivering the goods. Okay, back to live action here as we've got, who do we have here? We have, we have our Petersburg skater, Pink Slammin'. She's fighting to become lead jammer there in the front. You can see her really taking on Just Julie.
Team blocking by Bonnie Flash and Just Julie. Right there.
Really well done.
Just Julie's booty blocking is epic.
I love that Just Julie just said, take this with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Combustible is not lead jammer.
No, we got Pink Slammin' coming through here. She just scored 4 points.
All right.
Coming through for Law and Disorder and calls it there. So it's 72 now to 64 with Filibusters in the lead by 8 points. Actually, they've adjusted that at 75 to 64. Filibusters in the lead by 11 points over Law and Disorder with just under 3 minutes left in this half of action. I'd say it's been action.
Yeah, I mean, and really, I'm not seeing any disadvantage of their short benches. So even though they don't have 14 skaters all the way across, I think they're doing a pretty good job on the bench, whoever is doing their lineups and stuff, of letting those folks that need rest get rest. Fantastic.
Yep, they've been, they're under pretty rigorous conditioning and all that, and they're of course, everyone here has a day job. They're not able to dedicate their entire lives to conditioning and to roller derby, right? But
they don't get paid for it either.
That's right. But you got to think that towards the end of the second half, we might see a little bit of a slowdown in the action as fatigue might set in with these short rosters.
I don't recognize fatigue really as much as I recognize just getting a little sloppy. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. That's right. Yep.
A little bit of a what the heck just happened jams, but every game has one.
Skady Bright now coming through. She just scored 4 points.
She knows what just happened.
Absolutely. Being followed there by her jamming ref, Brohican.
And she calls it.
Brohican coming in from Rage City. And here comes a replay of what's going on here with the action as Skady Bright kind of got a little bit of a stumble, but it sort of helped her. Got her low, and here comes April Mayhem.
Look how Mayhem absorbed that contact, and she just stayed on it.
But look at Skady Bright tiptoe her way through. Nice.
Yep. That was good.
Well done by both. Skady Bright keeping her feet.
Like replay.
Yeah. Here we go. We got another action here.
Live action.
April Mayhem in red. I'm sorry, Peach Clobber there in red. But before you, Kim Bustable coming around as lead jammer.
Team Filibuster, I think, has found their groove. I mean, we're about just less than a minute for the last.
Here comes Peach Clobber. Peach Clobber. This is fun to see this action here, jammer to jammer.
Yep.
Peach Clobber wants to knock Combustible out of it. Oh, she almost got it.
Busta was basically just maintaining her position. She was saying, okay, you make the move.
Yep.
And that's definitely what we saw there, is that she's like, I'm already good.
But Combustible did a back block on her, though, or a trip, huh?
Yeah, it looks like
so here it comes. Still live action happening here on this jam. Still happening. The jam has not been called as we see the replay of that maneuver. But here we bar back to live action with Peach Clobber scoring points now. That's 4 points scored, 5 points scored on that pass for Lawn Disorder. They're in need of points right now, still in the trailing right now by 10 points. So Peach Clobber's got an opportunity here with this power jam to score some points.
Little combo of Titan Young and Skady Bright knocked Peach out on the inside. She had to start all over again.
Combustible is back, though, and there she goes through like a rocket.
Right.
Man, she came right through there out of nowhere, it seemed like.
It seems like Team Filibuster is actually moving forward, which the name doesn't make sense.
Woo!
They would do that.
That was one heck of
a
a pass through the untouched through the entire field there.
Oh, now she's got a 4-wall. They look set up.
Yeah, she's going to get a little more contact than that last time, I'd think. April
like
Mayhem.
No,
sorry, Pink Slammin', not April Mayhem. Sorry. April
and then we got Scara just starting a little contact, but Busta was a little too fast for that.
Combustible scores 5 points on that pass. 14 points for the Filibusters in that jam versus 9 for Lawn Disorder. High scoring, but Filibusters maintaining their lead there. Look at this coming through on the side here. This is this really fun.
Jammer action.
Yeah. So you can see right there, kind of Peach Clobber kind of letting her know, okay, I'm right there. And
but Busta's just maintaining. She's just like, all right, I'll play with you. Let's skate together.
And let's see who is coming through. It is Combustible that's lead jammer here, not Peach Clobber. And now I'm not sure why that's.
Why did she get, she even says right there, why did she get pulled?
Right, and you can see Peach Clobber thought it had ended at that point, but it hadn't ended. I guess as the penalty happened, you can't call it after you've been called for a major penalty, I would think, as a lead jammer. You cannot.
Right.
So that's what happened. She was called for a penalty and then tried to call it even though she was the lead jammer. Well, that's it. That's the end of this half. And it's a 20. All of a sudden, it's a 20-point game. You know, it hadn't been. It had been very, very close.
It was a 19-point last jam.
Yeah, so amazing. 98 to 78. now the score with 19 points scored in that last jam. Combustible really doing a lot of damage. After a time in the sin bin on one jam, amazing to come back and score almost 20 points in one jam. Great action here. So
That's right.
Filibusters coming through there, maybe getting a little more organized, maybe that teamwork and working together.
Kind of solidified in their strategy, and I definitely expect them to come back and do that the second half, really start off.
Well, speaking of the second half, let's go to halftime. We've got some really interesting stuff happening at halftime. We get the opportunity to hear Shorty Moreno is going to talk to a couple of skaters. We got some skaters from outside of Juneau. We got some skaters from right here who've been skating for a long time, and she's going to talk to a few right now. Let's hear from Shorty Moreno.
Well, thank you, Andy Klein and Money Honey. I'm here with Pink Slimin and Bonnie Flash. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Really good. Really good.
Yeah? Okay. Well, here's a classical thing we do every time we do an interview. We're going to ask you about your name and your number and why, because people really want to know that stuff, right? So, Pink Slimin, and tell me what your name.
Pink Slammin'. Well, I commercial fished most of my life with my dad and family business. I worked at a commercial fishing supply store, and now I'm a assistant manager at Icicle Seafoods. Commercial fishing has pretty much been most of everything I've been involved in my life, so I thought it was pretty adequate to name myself something to do with fishing. So Pink Slammin' is a pun on pink salmon.
Fun name. And tell me about your number.
Oh, hook. Well, it kind of goes along with the name. I like to use hooks to catch fish, too.
Awesome. And Bonnie Flash, tell me your name, why, and your number.
So I chose Bonnie Flash after taking about a year to figure it out. Just kind of came to, I was given that name. It was fun because it's speedy. It also could be a little risque, who knows? But so I chose Bonnie Flash and just stuck. But hoping to be fast in a jammer someday on the track.
Nice. And your number is?
62. Also just a Gemini and chose my birthday.
Great. So, Pink Slimin', you are from Petersburg, Ragnarok Rollers.
Yeah.
And you're playing with the Law and Disorder team tonight, right?
Absolutely. It's really exciting that I get this opportunity to come up to Juneau.
Great. We're glad to have you here. And tell me about the pictures. We got a couple pictures that you gave it to us. Tell me about the first picture.
The first picture is a picture with my number one fan, Eric Castro. He's been part of my life for a little while. And that is in Ketchikan, and I got MVP Jammer. It was really exciting to get that award. It was a great honor.
Well, congratulations for that. And how about the second picture? Is that with your team?
Yeah, that's my awesome team, the Ragnarok Rollers, PRR. They are a fantastic group of every walk of life, and I've been with the team since the beginning. And so just watching all the girls that are starting to come onto the team, we make up, I think, one of the happiest, funnest, and working hard teams that are in the league in Southeast.
That's great. And how about the third picture? That is a holy fish.
That is one big fish, and that is my wonderful sister Erica and me back in the fishing days when I worked holding up almost a 70-pound round king salmon.
Nice. So are you excited for tonight? Is this your first time playing with the Juneau Rollergirls?
It is my first time playing with the Juneau Rollergirls. I also did get the opportunity to come up almost 2 years ago or more and get to skate in a 101 class with Just Julie. So I've come up, and then I also came up this fall and skated a little bit. Practice, I got to practice with the Juneau Rollergirls, and so I'm really excited to be part of a team today, though, competing with and against.
That's great. Well, we're really glad to have you here and playing with us. So, Bonnie, tell me about your pictures. And you are a Juneau Rollergirls, and you are playing for the Filibusters tonight.
That's correct. Yes, I'm very excited. This is my first bout, so I'm so stoked, and it's really fun to have people come up and skate with us. That is so exciting. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's my first one. So,
are you nervous? From a scale of 0 to 10, how nervous are you?
Maybe 8. Well, no, I mean 8 would be really bad. Maybe like a 4. Yeah.
Okay.
These are my family. I skate with them every week, so it's good.
That's great. So tell me about your pictures.
So when I'm not doing derby, I like to do other things too. I did other things for a while. So the first picture, I am at a recent fundraiser to make masks for Mardi Gras and and that was just really, I like to do some artistic stuff, and that was one of them. So.
That's great. And the second picture looks like you are floating on a boat somewhere.
Yes, I don't have a boat, and I am pretty new to Southeast Alaska. I've been here for 3 years, but I love being out on the water. It just makes me so happy, and I'm wearing this huge, funny little life jacket, but it works, and it keeps us afloat, so don't want to fall in.
Great. And how about the last picture with this gentleman there?
That is my gentleman. That is my hubby, Mr. Tim Lash, and I love him, and we were at the Twisted Fish, and we just had a lot of fun. So, yeah, I wouldn't be here without his support, so, and everybody else.
Great. Well, how are you nervous for tonight about, winning, losing?
Winning, losing, yes, I should say I want my team to win, of course, but I'm just happy to skate, and that's going to be really fun. Yeah.
Great. And Pink Slimin', how long have you been doing derby?
I'd say I'm going into my third season, so not very long, and really have only been in bouts for the last year. So just started with a scrimmage a year ago. So this is all still new to me, still learning, and yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and good luck for both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Arachnophobia. Hi, PR.
So I have Sarah Yu, and I have Sailor Mouth Molly from Juneau Rollergirls. So how are you guys doing? How's the chat room tonight? Any action? Anything you want to talk about?
It's been going really good. We haven't had as many posts as we'd like, so please don't forget to use your hashtag AKDerby to ask us questions, whether it's about roller derby or anything involved with tonight. Any questions about how the gameplay is going? One of the questions we did receive was about what our track is made out of. So currently we lay a couple of different tapes down and rope to help create the illusion of our roller derby track. And we are also working on getting ourselves a sport court, so it's going to be really great.
So tell me about this sport court, specifically for Centennial Hall, to be used, from what I understand, to be used multiple ways, including for roller derby. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So a sport court is basically a big puzzle piece court that you put together. Centennial Hall is going to house it for us, and it's used to protect floors for skaters, whether it's for recreational or sports. And it's going to be a really, really great tool for us to have, especially with training for different events that we go to outside of Juneau.
All right, well, thank you very much. Actually, Sarah, I have been up here with you before, so you're kind of the tech behind the scenes, that's right? Yeah. I know you've done this how many times before?
I don't know, like almost 10? Estimating.
Wow, 10 times. You're good with hashtags then. Are you good with the hashtag AK Derby?
I'm comfortable with it.
So in the chat rooms, where are people logging in and signing in from?
Well, we get people from all over the country. Actually, we have someone that just was telling us that they were from Georgia. I think they're rooting for Peach Clobber. Is that
nope,
right?
They were rooting for Heavy Metal, which is her first debut bout tonight.
Okay, great.
So, being in Juneau and being here at the game, and for me being right there calling the action, it is nice to have this chat room, because I've been up here. I've been in the chat room when I was in a camping ground trying to get the worst internet access. So I really want to thank 360 North and everybody here, and you guys specifically, keeping the action open. And is there anything else we want to talk about before we go to the next interview?
Well, if you're just coming in now, we're going to have the bout up on YouTube, probably, in the next few days. So check back next week and you can watch the full thing as many times as you want. So go to our website and it'll be there whenever.
Big thank you to 360 North for all of their wonderful assistance with Derby in the state of Alaska. Thank you.
And that would be it from up here. Let's go check out the next interview. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you at the second half.
And we're back here with two great other skaters. We're here with Poutine and Tan Young. How are you guys today?
Great. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, Shorty.
Yeah, thank you for coming here and talking to us. I'm going to ask you a little bit about your name.
Okay.
So your name is Poutine.
Yes.
You're from the Fairbanks team. You're playing with the Filibusters tonight.
Right. Well, I actually have just transferred down to the Juneau Rollergirls, and I used to skate for Fairbanks and the Raven Rebels, but now I'm a Juneau Roller Girl.
That's great. I'm sure they're going to miss you.
I miss them too, but I have a new group of sisters, and it's great.
That's great. And what's your name coming from? What poutine?
Poutine is a Canadian dish. I'm French Canadian, and it is wonderful fries with cheese curds and brown gravy on top. And it's kind of a bit of a hot mess, so that's kind of why I picked it.
Nice. You're kind of making me hungry now. And your number, 26, right?
Right. It's another play on the Canadian theme. A 26er is 750 ml or 26 ounces of alcohol.
Oh, great. Do you drink alcohol?
Occasionally.
Okay, that's good. All right.
But not tonight.
Not tonight, yeah, definitely. And Titan Young, you're from the Juneau Rollergirls, and you're playing with the Filibusters, too. Tell me about your name.
Titan Young. Well, obviously Titan is from Greek mythology. The thought was to imply strength, and Young is a throwback to my maiden name. My real name for everyday life is Stephanie Cruz now, but I used to be Stephanie Young. And yeah, put it together, you got Titan Young.
Great. And your number is 25. Tell me why the number.
25 was chosen because originally in, well, the version of Greek mythology that I read in high school, there were 25 Titans with names. So I figured that was a good choice.
That's a great name and number. So tell me about how long you've been playing Derby and why you joined this.
About 3 seasons, I believe. I think this is my 3rd season. It's starting to run together. I was looking for something in Fairbanks to do and something to get hooked into, and I joined the Fairbanks Roller Girls, and they accepted me, and it was great, and it was a wonderful way to burn off energy in the middle of winter.
That's true. And is this your first time playing with the Juneau Rollergirls, or?
This is my first time playing on their team. It is not my first time playing with them, though. My very first bout was here with the Juneau Rollergirls when Fairbanks came up.
That's great. And Titan, how long have you been playing roller derby, and why did you decide to join this?
I've actually been playing roller derby for close to the same amount of time as Poutine, and I actually spent my first year of roller derby with the Fairbanks Roller Girls. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, I transferred down to the Juneau Roller Girls. I moved for work, but like Poutine, we've been welcomed into the fold of the Juneau Roller Girls. It's a really fantastic group down here. I miss my Fairbanks Roller Girls, and I love getting to go visit them, but at the same time, I have an extended family down here as well.
That's great. Now, I got a couple of pictures from you guys, and I want you to tell me something about it. So, Poutine, the first picture, where is that at?
I do a lot of traveling, and that was at Mauna Loa. My husband and I climbed to the top of Mauna Loa together, and it took us all day. And that was at the very end. We were very, very happy to have made the whole trip.
Nice. How about the second picture?
The second one is actually in Nablus in Palestine, Israel, and we were there and we met this woman, Tagrib, who's in the middle, and she was working with the University of Nablus and doing a volunteer project picking up trash.
That's great. Yeah. Glad you met some great people there.
It was wonderful.
How about the third picture? Is that you?
Yes, that was from last summer, and again, Dr. Pooh, my husband, the Juneau Roller Girls named him, and the Fairbanks Roller Girls named him. We went down the Porcupine River in a canoe near Fort Yukon, and we ended up in the Yukon River, and then spent the night in Fort Yukon and flew out.
Nice. What a great adventure.
Yeah.
All right, and Titan, tell me about your pictures right here. It looks like you're on action there.
Oh, yeah, I decided to give you an action shot. That's from the Juneau Roller Girls' last bout, which was in October. Again, it was a mashup. That is me blocking Skatey Bright, who's jamming for the opposing team. Speaking of Roller Girls competing, I wanted to let you guys know the Filibusters actually are traveling down to play in the Wild West Showdown next weekend. So this bout is both a league mashup, but it's also a practice run for the Filibusters team, who's going to represent Juneau in the Wild West Showdown in our very first sanctioned bouts. We have a year to play 4 sanctioned bouts to earn a ranking. And then the WFDA Association actually uses their rankings to determine who goes to regional or divisionals, and then the finals to compete for the WFDA championship title. So it's really exciting for us to move up in from being just an affiliated league to actually competing league.
That's crazy. It's really nice to see how Juneau Rollergirls just keeps growing and growing. Tell me about the second picture.
The second picture is a picture of Centennial Hall's floor, which we'll talk a little bit more about here. We actually have a challenge to overcome. Centennial Hall needs to protect their floor. The continued sporting events on the floor is actually damaging to the floor. So we are doing a sport court initiative to raise money to purchase a sport court in order to cover the floor when we skate and to comply with Centennial Hall, so we still have a place to skate.
Okay, that's great. And let's talk about the sport court in a minute. But talk to me about this last picture. Is that the Juneau Rollergirls? Where is that at?
That's the Juneau Rollergirls at United We Roll last year. So another Juneau Rollergirls competition opportunity. Every year, Alaska has a state tournament called United We Roll. It varies where it's located. This year, it's in Fairbanks. And the Juneau Rollergirls plans on competing in the United We Roll tournament against all the leagues in Alaska. All the leagues that can make it there. It should be a really fantastic competition. That's in May.
Great. That's fun. I look forward to see that. And tell me about the sport court. What is this?
So Fairbanks has one. And basically what it is it's a floor that sits on top of a floor. And it's plastic, and it comes in like probably 5 by 5 inch squares, and they break down into 4 by 4 square pieces,
4 foot by 4
foot by 4 foot pieces, and you can transport it. And so it's a plastic floor to go on top of a floor. It can be used on top of ice if you have something to keep the ice from melting. It can be used on top of wood. It can be used on top of kind of crummy concrete, and it's a nice smooth surface to play on, but it doesn't damage anything when you skate on it, and then you can pick it up and take it away.
That sounds very convenient. Is that cheap at all?
They're not cheap. They're not cheap, and we have an additional problem to overcome because they're extremely heavy. And as you know, when you're shipping anything to Alaska, you're worried about weight. Yeah. So, and you have to transport them probably by boat or plane here.
Yeah, we'll probably have to come up to Juneau on a barge. So we're looking into all of the strategic pieces of that, as well as working on raising enough money to cover the cost. If you are interested in Juneau Rollergirls, learning more about skating, learning more about becoming an official referee, just volunteering, maybe you want to be part of the announcing crew, or you want to help us as a volunteer at the bouts, you can get online at JuneauRollergirls.com. We have our calendar of events. We have information about how to contact us, how to contact our recruitment committee, as well as all of our scheduled bouts.
Great. And can people go there to help to raise money for the sport court too?
Of course, you can find out more information about the sport court initiative, and you can get in touch with anybody, the people involved with the sport court, if you wanted to help.
Great. Well, I heard we had a great special guest tonight, and do you want to say thanks to him?
Oh, yes. Juneau Police Chief Bryce Johnson joined us this evening with his wife. He joined us because he's a supporter of Juneau Rollergirls, but also we wanted to bring him here tonight to issue an invitation. So I'm going to extend that invitation to all the listeners at home, all the watchers at home, that Juneau is doing a Take Back the Night event on April 1st. It's an event really to raise awareness and help stop domestic violence and sexual assault against women. So it's a really important event for Juneau. It's something that's near and dear to our hearts, and as well as the police chiefs.
Okay, well, we're glad to have him, and thank you so much, girls, for coming up here and telling your stories, and good luck for both of you tonight.
Thank you. And can I say happy birthday to somebody?
Sure.
Happy birthday, Q.
I have to say happy birthday to somebody too. My husband's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Shane.
All right. Thank you, girls. Have a good, fun play tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordy.
So fun to hear from those skaters, and so fun to hear happy birthday wishes out there. It's so great to hear that
My
stuff
birthday's
too.
next month.
Happy
Actually,
birthday,
April.
Money Honey. Happy birthday, Money Honey. Early, but
Yes.
happy birthday. Wonderful to hear about the Take Back the Night initiative, and also the program to get a sport track happening. Sport court happening here in Centennial Hall. Obviously, as you saw online, if you want to get more involved in that, you can go to JuneauRollergirls.org. A really fun thing to think about and a way to extend not only this sport, but other sports happening in
Yeah,
Juneau.
there's other organizations that could definitely take advantage. I mean, I know that there's recreational skating, there could be just anything. And this venue is fantastic for roller derby. So to keep using it, that's going to be a really good thing for us. For Juneau, for Southeast, I know that Juneau Roller Girls is really looking at bringing people in from the other Southeast communities. We have so much derby in Alaska right now that just getting them here would be half the battle. So having a floor for them to be on would be fantastic.
That'd be great. Let's talk about first half action. What'd you see out there?
Well, season 4, we've got seasoned skaters. We've got really good strategy workout. You can see them I can almost see them working on the track. So this first half, I'm definitely ready to see more cemented value in the second half.
All right.
And, I can never do it. I can never call who's going to do it.
It's an interesting thing because it's reminds me a little bit of like an all-star team going against a regular season team in a way. In some ways, this team of the Law and Disorder is a little bit of an all-star team, right? It's sort of the collected
is
people.
The traveling team.
And Filibusters the traveling team. So it's kind of an interesting blend because Law and Disorder has a lot of talent on that team.
Let's just talk about the blocking talent alone.
Yeah.
We've got Bitter Glitter, Fatty Duke. We've got April Mayhem as a jammer, Pink Slam, and I mean...
Peach Cobbler.
Peach Clobber, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, all of them in there. These are people's names that we're calling all through the seasons. Those are the names and the numbers we're calling out a lot. But of course, on the other end, on the Filibusters, just Julie anchoring an amazing defense with Skady Bright in there as well.
And Roland Marvel jamming. Roland Marvel, I believe, started last season, and she had an injury, came back from that injury, and she is just right back on the jammer line, ready to go. It's
and
fantastic.
A star jammer in Combustible. I mean, Combustible, such a great jammer.
She's very much a seasoned skater.
An absolute veteran, and I love the little... At the beginning of the jam, like, take that with you, Rook, and
she totally did that to heavy metal. I have no question.
Yeah, absolutely, she did. We saw it in the replay, in fact. All right, well, they're getting ready here. As you can see, the full track there. Really fun to see the full track, and that's sort of as you can see when they're talking about a new sport track, that's the enormity of the task in front of them, getting a track like that can fold up and that they can pack away and travel and all that as we're starting up here with the first jam. So
First jam of the second period. We got 30 minutes in the period. Jams can last up to 2 minutes. Who do we have on the jammer line in decline?
April Mayhem going up against Combustible. It's an all-star battle up there with Filibusters with a 20-point lead here as the second half starts. 98-78 is the score. Filibusters in white over Law and Disorder, sorry.
So there's been, just as a breakdown for all the people keeping track, there's been no team timeouts called. Both teams have 3 timeouts still currently, and we're starting the second half. So
here we
let's
go.
see what happens.
And it's a mess to start with, and who comes through first? Let me give you one guess. That's right, it's April Mayhem. Combustible hot on her tracks, though. This is going to be a fun jammer battle here right off the start with these two fast and very skilled skaters. Look how quickly April Mayhem picks out the spots to go through. I think before you might have got a few points there. Nope. They got 0 points for
Mayhem,
for
she saw that Team White was kind of scattered at the back of the pack, so she only had to really face Just Julie for any contact. So once she came up against Just Julie, it counts as a point as soon as you pass the hips of the opposing skater.
This is fun to see. Scary Unitely coming in as a jammer.
Wow,
this is pretty exciting here, going up against Roland Marvel. So let's see how Scary Unitely, a powerful skater, usually in the blocking wall, we'll see how she does as a jammer here.
She's another skater who's returned from a pretty major injury.
Oh, and a massive hit. Welcome to being a jammer, says the blocking wall. And I got to believe Just Julie might have been behind that block just a bit.
And Roland Marvel just made it past Bitter Glitter, and T just tried to kind of catch up with her, but she is now Roland Marvel. Team Filibuster is lead jammer.
All right. And Scary Unitely here, a lot of determination, but finding a hard time getting through that block and wall as Just Julie is
Roland Marvel
especially.
didn't seem to have much
There's
trouble.
Just Julie knocking her once, pushing her back. She's working through though. Scary Unitely working through. She's got one blocker left as Roland Marvel now comes behind on her scoring run here, her second scoring run.
That's
and she's coming through now, has not passed anyone's passing now 2, coming up on 3, pushed out there.
Still counted. That point still counts.
Okay, so she's got.
Gets past the hip and just needs to keep going.
So I'm counting about 8 so far for her. And look at her pushing this wall. That's just determination. Roland Marvel.
She's like trying to say, is the pack open? Can they go yet? Can they go? Because she's waiting for the pack to be broken.
Fatty Duke and Bitter Glitter just laying it down, and finally she's through. Roland Marvel busting through there. The crowd's loving that action.
Yep.
107 to 82 now the score. The Filibusters really exerting some authority over this match at this point. And here she comes through again. Roland Marvel getting through.
She's dealing with a standstill block of law and disorder.
I think what,
she got it.
To me, what's happening here that I see, layman's perspective, and let me know if you see the same thing, but I'm seeing a win in this jam of the battle of the blockers. It seems like the Filibusters wall is just so tightly formed. It's becoming very hard for Scary Unitely to get through that. Meanwhile, the Roland Marvel is able to get around that coordinated effort and get through the law and disorder wall. Let's see here as we start off this. This jam.
I want to point out Peach in the orange helmet is right there in the center. You got to kind of watch on her because she's going to go into contact with Roland Marvel and actually end up in the box because she's pushing.
This is the push. She's like, can I get some help here?
Yeah.
All right, back to live action.
Next jam has started.
Yeah, as we've got our visiting skater from Petersburg pushed out, and Kim Bustable coming through as Pink Slammin' is finding it hard to get through. Pink Slammin' puts Just Julie down, but that's a penalty.
Brohekin is indicating Pink Slammin' cut the track. That's time to go to the box.
It was a good hit, but a cut track.
That's right.
So meanwhile, Heavy Metal gets pushed out on by Kim Bustable as she comes through. They're organizing the wall here. They've only got 3 in their wall.
Katie Bright just tried to break out Heavy Metal's spot. She's on her.
Kim Bustable finding it hard to get through this wall, well formed. And tell me a little bit about the rules of what the blockers can do when they're in that wall. They can't use their hands, they can't push off. What are they able to do to hold back these jammers?
Legal blocking zones, that'd be anything from the thigh up through the shoulder. They can't use their head, they can't use their hands. They also can't clasp together and be a multiplayer block. They'll get called on that as well.
I see, all right. Sometimes they'll kind of hold hands or hold shoulders or stuff like that. Okay.
It needs to be.
But not a grab. They can't grab. I see. Okay.
No grabbing their teammates and no grabbing the opposing.
A lot like in football, what the linemen can do, they can use their hands and arms, but they can't grab. And the same sort of thing that happens here.
Correct.
All right.
And that's really safety, and you don't want somebody coming up on a 2-person wall that is grasping. You could break arms.
Yeah. By the way, we want to point out Bonnie Flash is in this jam. And one of the new skaters, number 62 there, is in the jam as well. And fun to see her in there. Okay, here's this push out of Just Julie pushing Pink Slammin' out. That is, I mean, tell you.
She's holding on. Pink Slammin's holding on and then out of bounds.
And that's our new player there, number 62, pushing her out of bounds there on the inside. And here comes that hit of Just Julie, Pink Slammin' meeting together, but Pink Slammin' was on the inside track. Just Julie actually just kind of lost her balance on that. But holding her back. Oh, and there's April Mayhem back to live action, just scooting through. We can't even keep up with her. The replay is barely off, and she's already through on another jam. And she's coming back around already on her scoring run here. There she's already scored points. She has got a lot of head of steam coming.
Yeah.
A great hit on her, though, by Bonnie Flash, the new fresh meat, as they call him here in the roller derby world.
During the halftime, I introduced myself to Bonnie. She said, "Oh, it's great to put a put a face to the name.
There
I
you
thought,
go.
same here, sister.
Everybody knows money, honey. All right. Coming through here again on another scoring run is April Mayhem.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the jammer for the Filibusters has been sent out. That's Titan Young, who we got to see there during halftime. And here comes April Mayhem, looking to make up some points here. 126-95 is the score right now, so she's looking to make up some points. Just so quick, right? Great move. So fun to watch her feet operate during those kind of cut-throughs. She can cover so much horizontal space in the track, not just vertical space going forward, but also moves from side to side so well.
Can I just say with Mayhem, I know during the off season she traveled to Dallas with some other skaters and they went and watched the World Cup. So I think her aggressiveness that we're starting to see, because before, you know, we could see her hold back a little bit. Now, not so much. She's coming into the pack hot, and she's going to make it through, and she doesn't seem as intimidated. Maybe,
I'll tell you something else that's very interesting. Right now she's smiling, she's picking up her, but I haven't seen that big smile as she's going around. She seems really determined.
Yes, I think she has a different game face this
It's
season.
sort of that game face coming up. Like, it's not just fun and games here.
Yeah,
I'm out here to do something. I'm out here to lay some waste.
Yeah, I mean, as
Whether it's on my team or another team.
As we're seeing on the screen, again, it's the persistence, the getting back up. Back to live action.
And Roland Marvel.
We immediately have Roland Marvel as lead jammer, and we have, looks like Pink Slam is getting a lot of track action as a jammer on the jammer, and she is hot in pursuit on Roland.
Now, interesting to see the pivot of Just Julie and Peach Clobber had tangled
The
up there.
blockers, yeah. Oh, wow, the pivot.
Yeah, and had gone off track there, charged back in at the end of that, but the jam was called. So a lot of action happening in different parts of the track there, but fun to see Roland Marvel getting out to that really early lead.
Most definitely.
All right,
I'm
we got
pretty
Kim
sure it's a
Bustable
dance
going
time
up
break
against
in between.
Fatty Duke coming in as one of the jammers. She definitely jams a few times per match typically, but it's not her. It's not the role she assumes most often. And here she's coming through against Kim Bustable, one of the toughest jammers out there. She's running into a bit of a brick wall there with Skatey White, Titan Young in there, and also Poutine.
B4U, Kim Bustable declared lead jammer by Major P. Rick.
Poutine described her nickname as describing a Canadian hot mess. I love it.
I love names.
Yes.
I think about names. I've said this before. I think about names all the time. I'll be in the shower and I'm like, I need a pillow. That's a great derby name.
And there's Kim Bustable, a good shot at Kim Bustable there, bumping the hips a couple of times, showing that's how they call it. That's how they're calling a jam there. Right now the score's 131. Filibusters in the lead, 106 over Law and Disorder. Just over 20 minutes left in this whole bout here in the second half of this bout. I guess we're calling them matches now. We're not calling them bouts
they're not even
anymore.
Matches, they're games.
Games
but
now.
But games are for children. This is serious business.
I
this
like
is
calling them
derby.
a bout.
Yeah.
I like it.
I call
round
them a bout
two in the bout here. 20 minutes left in round two. 131 to 106 with Skatey Bright getting out early. Skatey Bright, such a great blocker. So fun to see her out as a jammer, coming in and scoring some points.
And we have Mayhem.
There she goes.
Right
She just
her.
took the direct approach right through that wall. And she's coming around.
Now, some of the strategy that you're seeing is immediately reforming of the team, of the blockers. You may see it.
There.
Yeah, that's great. You may see it split apart when the jammer gets through. They immediately reform in a strategic blocking aspect for the next time around. So it doesn't end. It's offense and defense at the same time.
You see Titan Young putting on the pivot helmet there as Fatty Duke going up against Roland Marvel as the jammers. So here we go.
Pink Slam and pivot for Law and Disorder.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on here? Let us know what's happening here, Money Honey.
Well, Fatty Duke is stuck behind a wall there. Obviously, Skatey Bright. So she's backing through. Now, she is not lead jammer. Lead jammer is Roland Marvel, who is coming up in the back end of the pack. We have some skater down, and immediately Pink Slammin and Scary Unitely tried to get in there and block on Roland Marvel, but
it worked. Roland Marvel did call it that she got behind that wall.
Enough.
But she scored a couple of points there. But, yep, they provided an effective wall there. A quick jam. Scores 3 points for the Filibusters. 137-106 Now the score. Law and Disorder needing to make up a few points here, I would say. We're under 20 minutes now, just under 19 minutes left in this entire match. So I think Law and Order needs to make a couple of moves, maybe a couple of power jams here to make up the difference in the point score.
Slightly distracted by what's going on the bench. I see a lot of talking specifically on the Filibusters. You know, while they're getting their rest, their bench coach looks to be Wiley Coyote, who is a retired Juneau Roller Girl. I think she is down with Rat City, not positive, but she is here guest benching.
Oh, all right. Meanwhile, Combustible is through, but look at this battle of the jammers. Combustible with April Mayhem is not going to let that sit. She is right on her and moving up quick.
Very fluid.
Does Combustible see her? As she does, she must see her. She calls it right away.
Very nice.
Oh, and a little bit of a back and forth there between April Mayhem and Combustible.
It's all fair.
I think April Mayhem sort of saying, hey, what, you afraid of little old me? Come on.
Nice.
Here it comes
Very
out of the pack
tight
with
pack action here. Well, I mean, what we're seeing is a 3-block, 4-block with white team up against the red, so couldn't get through, had to negotiate herself around.
Interesting how she, Combustible fell on the outside, got up, cut on the inside immediately, weaved back to the outside, got ahead as lead jammer. Okay, we're back to live action with oh my goodness, that was a good hit there.
Roland Marvel out and has to start back at the, almost back at the jammer line.
Fatty Duke has run up against Just Julie, and that is
Bitter
tough.
Glitter. Out of bounds, Just Julie knocked her out of bounds, has to go back out. Sometimes it's almost like rolling around each other when you watch. It's almost like a dance.
Yeah, yeah, oh, absolutely it is, yeah. It's that athleticism happening, the strategy. You can see sometimes it's just very interesting to watch the calls that are being made between the blockers, just like if you're watching any other sport, that inside line, the defensive battles that happen, the game within a game. And I love watching Just Julie, her communication, the way, her style, the way she hits.
Yeah.
Just so hard and devastatingly.
It's effective. If you take a look at the score right now, we've got Law and Disorder, that's Team Red. They are 106, but Filibusters, you know, they started out a little behind. They took a score, you know, turnover in the first half, and they're maintaining it at 141.
All right, so almost a 35-point lead, or exactly a 35-point lead here by Filibusters as we're heading into the next jam with just over 16 minutes left in the entire bout here. And we've got our Petersburg skater Pink Slammin' behind Combustible. Combustible is the lead jammer here, coming up against that wall, and she calls it just as she gets through the wall.
Wow, you know.
Pink Slammin' might have got through there, might have got a couple points, no? Boy, she was coming on strong.
What I did see, though, is Combustible definitely has a strategy. She'll start pushing her way through that linear wall of red, and she's calling it off as she's going. Now, one thing is, until the fourth whistle blows by the refs, those points count.
They still count.
So she can be calling it off and still gaining points.
But
in this case, she gained 3.
And the same thing happens, though, as she's calling it, though, if by the fourth whistle, if the other jammer has passed anyone in that amount of time, that's still
true
points.
too. There's a risk there.
Points as well.
It's
All
a
right.
timing game.
April Mayhem once again with that really amazing knack she has of getting out early and getting into open track space, uses her speed, able to size up what's going on. It's all red in front of her, so she's got really a good couple of holes here as there's one member of Filibusters in the sin bin right now.
Very good. Yep, good call. So she's going to use that to her advantage.
Into the inside track. She loves that inside track maneuver. She does it so many times, so effectively. That's 4 points scored right there by April Mayhem. Now back to full strength now for the Filibusters with Bonnie Flash back out of the sin bin. And she's providing a good wall there. Bonnie Flash teaming up with Just Julie and Skady Bright, but April Mayhem able to fight through that so often. Just a great skater. Really fun to watch her. Roland Marvel catching up with her. Roland Marvel just scored 4 points on her own, so keeping up there for the Filibusters. April Mayhem needs to score points, but she also the wall for Law and Disorder needs to prevent Roland Marvel from scoring points as well here. 152 to 114 now the score.
Well, we've got Law and Disorder gaining some points with Mayhem. She's definitely taking the advantage of this. Maybe there's a little bit of fatigue. I don't really like saying that word, but she's definitely, she's already lapped Roland. So she's gaining 5 points, or had gained 5 points on the last round because she had lapped her.
So here we go, April Mayhem again. And that's the other thing, is just the speed of April Mayhem. You know, she is just one of the fastest skaters out there. And one of the slipperiest. You know, she just gets through walls. Here's an example right there. Right past Just Julie, one of the toughest blockers to get around, and just used her speed to get around her.
4 seconds left in that 2-minute jam.
Just Julie had her in her crosshairs, and
it.
she was able to slip it. Amazing.
Ooh,
look at that, coming around. Great, here she goes, cutting back inside. Money Honey, she's just got that knack.
Yep. She just scoots right by, you know, and then she comes back around. That's when the smile comes out.
Number 420, a popular popular number these days in Alaska. 420. All right, coming up next we got. I don't know. Coming up next, we got Fatty Duke going up against, is it Roland Marvel again? No, I think we've got Titan Young maybe as the jammer.
That would be Titan Young.
Yeah.
She's a transplant from Fairbanks, I think 1 or 2 seasons ago. So, you know, getting the love from Fairbanks all the way down here.
She's coming out as lead jammer right there. She just got past the wall and she's coming out as lead jammer. Really well done. And meanwhile, Fatty Duke back there as the jammer, coming through on her own right. Almost able, and she keeps her feet. Great balance by Fatty Duke. Wow,
fantastic.
That was fun
we
to
get
see.
See that again. I want
Up
to see that
on
again.
one leg, yeah, terrific. Rolling backwards on one leg. All right, she's coming back around, looking to score some points as well here. Oh, and a sideways move. I tell you what, Fatty Duke is really pulling out all the stops.
So that skating with both skates lateral to the body, that's a mohawk.
That was fun.
That was probably a top jam. I'm going to say that was my top jam for the night.
And just from the moves of Fatty Duke, not even the lead jammer in that, but so just providing a little bit of fireworks there. Something for the people at home, as they say.
Right. So what's the score?
163 for the Filibusters to 129 for Law and Disorder, with just under 12 minutes left in the match. So here we go. We're coming up next with Kim Bustable sizing it up against Peach Clobber. I think Peach Clobber was taking a little bit of a break there in the second half from jamming for just a little bit. She took a lot of the responsibility for jamming in the first half, and I think she needed a little bit of a blow, you know, just a little,
She's gotten, you know, she's going to have some bruises on the sternum there from Just Julie. I've seen a couple of good hits from Just Julie, just straight on Peach Clobber, so I think that's affecting maybe a little bit.
Kim Bustable calls it right there as Peach Clobber was coming fast in.
That's right. Major P. Rick says 4 points for Kim Bustable, and Bro Heekin says 0 points for Peach.
That brings the score to 167 to 129, so 38 points ahead is the Filibusters in white over Law and Order in red with 11 minutes left in the match, and we're lining up now for the next jam. As we come up, we've got April Mayhem, Fast and Furious, against Roland Marvel as the two jammers, and here they go. April Mayhem fighting on the inside, outside, middle, and through. I mean, amazing every single time. Like watching a great wide receiver shake the defense every single time. She just seems to have a knack for it. Next is Roland Marvel, a really excellent jammer in her own right, coming up behind, but it's hard. I'll tell you what, every time April Mayhem takes the track, it seems like she's able to get through and start scoring points. I think what's really strong with the Filibusters is their wall strength is great, and then they're able, even when a high scorer like April Mayhem is in there, they're able to continue to also score points.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's the offense-defense at the same time. What's working for both these guys right now is they've got momentum for the second half. Neither of the teams has taken a timeout. Maybe it might be time for Law and Disorder to recenter a little bit. I'm not. I'm just observing a fan.
Yeah, you're not coaching.
Not coaching.
Just observing, just to be clear.
Yeah, but a great wall right now with Filibusters up at the front. Keep slowing Mayhem down.
Roland Marvel tried to get a little bit of a hip check in there at the end. Just Julie is now, they've switched the panty, and Just Julie is now the jammer. And this is fun to see her jamming because she is a fast and powerful skater. Let's see how she deals with this wall. I thought she might just do that.
Yeah.
Just break on through to the other side. Here comes Just Julie.
Wasn't terribly effective because they definitely absorbed that block, but she's good at working, you know, her way through, no doubt about it.
Oh, she actually got sent around. Is that a back block? Is that what's going on with that? Okay, so she got sent around as a back block there on that fairly aggressive maneuver there on the wall.
There's a relative position. It's called by the refs.
So explain that a little bit.
So I didn't see it myself, but you know, if she went in too hot and she caused another skater to go down or hit in an illegal way, typically in the back, that's a pretty common penalty to end up in the box for.
Meanwhile, April Mayhem rolling over Titan Young there.
So not only does April Mayhem get the 4 blocking points, she also gets that jammer point in the box.
All right, they're coming around. Still live action happening here as we go to April Mayhem, and April Mayhem now calling that jam as she gets through, scores a few more points there. Here's a replay of that action that was happening.
Yeah, this is where Just Julie took the panty switch.
Oh, all right, yeah, right there, took the panty switch.
Now everybody else is resetting.
All right, we're back to more live action now. Here we go, the next jam is underway. And it is, yeah, Heavy Metal as the jammer.
All right.
And you're just speechless. This is a buddy of yours, so you're rooting for it. This is where the objectivity goes out the window for just a minute.
I have to say,
as Heavy Metal, a rookie here, I want to see
that tenacity.
Oh, it takes a tough hit. Well, she doesn't lack in tenacity, I'll tell you that. There she goes, she's coming in.
You know, there's some pretty stringent requirements to even get a skater to their first bout, and she's been working on it for well over a year. She's really trying her hardest, and I can definitely see the interest in it.
There she comes through. She's not lead jammer, but she's coming through. There's some people being sent off here. We've got a couple of people in the sin bin.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jam's been called. But we had a sin bin there as well, as T went to the sin bin for Law and Disorderly. Score now 173 to 146. Filibusters kind of has it well in hand with just over 7 minutes left to go, but a lot of room for lots of scores to happen here. But the Filibusters have pretty consistently been scoring a little bit more every jam here, keeping that lead and extending that lead.
Well, I mean, and here it is again. You started the jam before the whistle even seems like it finished. Kimbustible's already through the pack and onto her scoring pass.
Has that uncanny ability to weave back and forth and just such great balance. I mean, she is definitely, you know, as a lot of jammers are, not the biggest physical presence of a woman out there, but so maneuverable and cagey.
Yeah.
She's just cagey.
Can I just say what she just did is she got out of the pack of her first scoring round. She looked over at her bench, and her bench said, "Keep going." Here she goes right out of there, and then she's going to take a look at her bench manager and see there she's doing a reference, and then she's gauging where the other jammer is. And here's her looking at the bench. She's going to see that the opposing jammer is already in the back of the pack, and she calls it before they scored.
Really
It was
smart.
A little sloppy there.
No, really good. No, that was good. Really, you know, scored the points. Sized up the situation, checked out
Looks
her bench,
for reassurance.
Called it when she needed to call it before the opportunity for Law and Disorder to score any points. Got another timeout here on the floor. And there's just over 6 minutes left in this entire bout right now. We've got a score of 182 to 146 with Filibusters taking the lead here pretty handily right now at this moment. Against Law and Disorder, and in some ways it's almost, if you're a fan of Juneau Rollergirls, it's almost kind of what you want her to see, right? You want that traveling team that's going to go represent Juneau, going to go down south to Bremerton and represent Juneau against a team. There's a team coming from Okinawa, there's a team from California, and another team from Jet City outside of Seattle. 3 teams that they know they're going to go against, and you want to see the Juneau Rollergirls represent. So Filibusters represent that traveling team that's going to happen. So it's great to see them coming together and able to have a match where they were a little behind, really gel as a team, come together. I see a lot of strength in their blocking wall especially, and of course Kimbustable is a standout right now as such a great jammer.
Yeah, you know, even though the Filibusters are up, what I think we got the vibe out there to the Law and Disorder. They took a team timeout, and they took this just while we were talking. They took a little break there. They're going to get back started in it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So we've got Peach Clobber as the pivot and April Mayhem as the jammer, but Kimbustable right there. She has been a star of this match. I mean, she has just been out there early and often and scoring points. And, you know, the other thing about Kimbustable, like we were talking about fatigue and those kinds of things, and maybe it's just her game face, Kimbustable doesn't get tired.
No, you
And
know,
what is going on? Is there a bionic thing happening, or is this a Jamie Summers kind of situation, or what's happening here with Combustible?
as a person, you know,
Yes.
knowing her outside of, I know that she is healthy.
Yep.
I know that she does other things besides derby. So when we see her, she's got the, what is that word called that you can keep going over and over and over
Yeah,
again?
just endurance, right?
Endurance, that's the word.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yes,
Yes,
something.
I think also. The
So what do
joie
we
de vivre.
So what do we got here in this, what would be Jam
There we go.
19?
Oh, look at Roland Marvel cutting through there on her tiptoes as she kept her balance and got through to be lead jammer, going up against April Mayhem.
Nice bracing blocking team there.
And April Mayhem is through.
Right through Bonnie Flash and Titan Young.
But I think you're right, Combustible. I think about her. Yeah, that's just a person who's in incredibly good shape, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and has been in
athletic all
shape
the
her
way.
entire life, and just has an engine. Just
I
has
mean,
an engine.
Any
Keeps it
one
running.
of these ladies are in shape. Doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter. You
Absolutely,
know,
yeah.
Their endurances. They've been playing this almost for an hour.
Yeah, that's right. And speaking of which, there's less than 5 minutes left in the entire match. 148-149 now the score. So about a 40-point difference here in the scores. So Law and Disorder, if they're going to make this close, has to have a couple of power jams here in the next couple of jams and really make up that
Well, let's
point
see if
differential.
they can do it.
So coming up, we got Combustible again. She's caught in the back. Oh, but a tough hit there coming up against Heavy Metal.
Hit on Heavy Metal right
Yeah. Lost that jammer panty off her head there. Coming back through, she's keeping up with it there.
there. Once she's got minimum skills, she's going to play with.
She's got to come
the
around.
big
It looks
leagues.
like she's been called out there. Like she has to. Looks like she's got to go to the sin bin on this one. I didn't see the call, but Heavy Metal as the jammer is now in the sin bin. This is kind of what Law and Disorder didn't need. There's now a power jam situation for the Filibusters.
with,
So
with Combustible. As the
So
jammer.
this is an opportunity for the Filibusters to really grab this match by the throat and really kind of.
Well, I mean, they're basically showing no mercy. I think this is also giving them a chance to have a high right before they leave town for Bremerton next week. So, you know, that's great. Let them have it.
I like that hit that April Mayhem just put on Combustible. She's not the jammer right now, but that was a little bit of there was a little bit extra in there from between Combustible and April Mayhem.
Now she's going to come up again on a fourth wall, or a four-person wall. Heavy Metal, I'm sorry. She just broke right through, and she's working her way.
And just Julie, wow, it's tough to go
Yeah.
up against her,
Yeah,
man.
it
I
is.
mean, that is rough. All right, I mean that's just
one-on-one.
that's
right
just
there.
going up against like the best linebacker in the NFL or something. It's just like it's going to be tough. Here she goes again, and
Yep,
there's
sternum check right to Heavy
Yep,
Metal. She's
yep.
on her.
all right. Heavy Metal coming around, trying to use the outside of the track, trying to weave through here. And Titan Young and Bonnie Flash holding her back right now.
One thing we don't get to see is the penalty tracking board, just because of our view. It's faced towards the teams, but you know, I would be curious, and I might walk over there after the game and find out where we were on penalties with each of the skaters, which I think those statistics are available.
Another 5
to the
points.
teams
yeah,
as well.
another 5 points scored there. So it's 193-149 right now with just over 2 minutes left. Let's look at this as we look at the
Combustible,
retake of the action
she's
here.
strategic. She'll move. She moves right there on the jammer line. Decides,
Oh, and there's that tough hit.
Yeah. Ooh,
Man.
right to the face.
Yeah, and she's holds her face right away. Let's hope that she's not hurt there.
What'd she get hit with?
And I think someone's knee might have made contact with her as she kind of went down here. We'll look right here.
Oh,
a
it would
shoulder.
be a shoulder,
Yep.
which is a legal hit, not to the face,
Legal.
but legal
Doesn't make it hurt less than
body
it's legal.
part. It's not, I mean,
Roland Marvel is now the lead jammer coming up against Pink Slammin'. Roland Marvel calls it.
she's like, oh, I'm done. I'm gonna hit it. Quit it.
Yeah, Pink
No,
Slammin'
I mean,
is right
no
on her.
scores on that jam. I think they're setting it up for like they're coming up on their final jam.
Just
Got-
a minute 20 left in this entire game. And it's Filibusters with a lead of 198-149 over Law and Disorder. Just about 50 points separates the two teams here. So we're looking at a couple of jams maybe left, and it'd have to be
Maybe one jam
have to be a pretty spectacular power jam
yeah.
to make up the point differential here.
This
But let's see what
last
happens here. And here's
potential
Combustible,
last
and
jam.
as you said, show no mercy. That's what they're doing. This
Yeah.
is roller derby, a part of it. part of it is the sisterhood, and then when you get on the track, you don't show any mercy.
And then there's the after party, which is
and then there's
for
the
all
after
friends.
party. Everyone's fine.
I want to say a big shout out to the zebras, the refs, team other, whatever you want to call them. They're the ones who are keeping all of this chaos in relative control. So you see them, definitely hug a ref. Hug a skater, hug a ref.
So they call it there with that jam with 24 seconds left, and that's going to be it. I don't think they're going to have enough time for another jam, or are they? Are they going to line up for one more jam?
You know, the skaters always want to line up for one more jam. It's up to the refs at this point.
Looks like the refs are going to do
last jam.
One more jam. So this is
Yes,
the
sir.
final jam right here happening. 0 seconds left on the clock, essentially, but it's 198 to 149. Filibusters well in the lead. Doesn't look like the actual results of the match are going to change because of this. Is this a timeout on the floor, or have they called the game? I think this is a timeout on the floor.
Looking at Solger on the blocking line there. Solger looks like Team Law and Disorder has called another team timeout. So I think they're getting some crowd action. Do you want this last jam, one more jam, dance party? Who knows what this is
Looks
right
like
now.
one more jam is definitely going to happen here. We've got Filibusters going up against the Law and Disorder team in red there. Law and Disorder came out, started off hot, off scoring a lot of points, but Filibusters teamwork kind of made up the difference. Meanwhile, we've got
an official timeout being called.
We've got a jam/dance party happening, and which I think, let's just watch that for a while because, okay, there we go. Little April Mayhem doing some breaking.
It's bust a move time.
It's busting a move.
That's the other thing. These athletes are all one team. Whether they're up on a mashup against each other, it's all about.
Yeah, I didn't hear a word. I was just watching Titan Young there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. We're gonna get back to the action here in just a moment.
Yes, we are.
But right now, it's a bit of a dance party has broken out here. So I don't know. Should we just should we bust a move? I don't know. I'm gonna get the tiger growling. It's coming at you.
Actually, I want to say Tiger's more awesome than the bear from last game.
I know. That's a shout out to Aaron and Christine. That's from Thailand. All the way from Thailand,
fantastic.
yeah. So thanks to them for that. Also, I know that Janet in Fairbanks is watching, and Heather in DC is watching. So we've got both coasts watching right now, and way up in the far north where maybe they're having a real winter. I don't know. We're not having a real winter here.
I'm DVRing it so I can be watching myself later.
Absolutely. We're getting back to the final jam now.
Oh, it's really happening.
It's really going to happen here. It's a dance party / jam. There's 6 seconds left on the clock.
But
198 to 149.
Last jam rules. They will go.
They'll go the full
2 minutes.
They'll go
I
the
believe.
full 2 minutes.
Yeah. And
All
I think
right.
that's kind of what they do. You know, and that might have been what the officials took a little time out, decide what kind of rules they're going to have for last jam.
And here we go. It starts off April Mayhem.
Yep.
She may have been dancing a minute ago, but she's all business now as
And
she's the lead jammer.
Out and final lead jammer of season 4, game 2.
Oh, that was quite a hit on Roland Marvel. Fatty Duke teamed up with T and hit Roland Marvel hard as now April Mayhem is coming through. She cuts through her own team and hits the wall. Just Julie trying to force her out.
Nice.
Doesn't quite force her out.
And muscle action right there, trying to keep him from getting out of the bounds.
But amazing, she kept her balance, kept back, and went on the inside, and then just cut through it like a knife through butter.
It looks like Just Julie drew a penalty on that last contact as well.
Roland Marvel is now through, scores 4 points for her team, the Filibusters, another 4 points. And April Mayhem is on her, right behind her on the track. She's talking to her ref. A lot of dialogue goes between the jammers and the refs. It's very interesting to watch that. They kind of, where they are in the position, what's going on.
Not coaching, but
not
more
coaching,
like just reassurance, like, am I lead?
Right, and complaining.
There's no smack talk to the refs.
No smack talk to the refs.
No smack talk.
All right, coming up now, here come the jammers. Roland Marvel, April Mayhem. April Mayhem now in the lead, although Roland Marvel is the lead jammer.
Yeah,
and April Mayhem looking to cut through. Oh, another hit applied by Just Julie as she's just out of the sin bin. And
Just Julie doesn't wait for action.
Cuts through.
She makes it come to her. It's kind of like Just Julie is my Chuck Norris of roller derby.
Here comes Chuck Norris, Just Julie coming through.
She took a panty switch from Roland Marvel. She is now the jammer
Should we do Just Julie jokes like we can do Chuck Norris jokes? Just Julie built the hospital she was built in.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the deal.
She was born in, sorry.
I named both Just Julie and Chuck Norris.
That's
yes,
not. Oh, and Chuck Norris, did you? Wow, you have superpowers. All right, April Mayhem coming around here, and that's it. They called it.
Game.
They have called it. The crowd is loving it. The Filibusters are loving it as they win this match 206, coming up to 210 to 170 with the Filibusters taking control of, in about the middle of the first half, the Filibusters really started taking control of this match.
No question. They put together, I think they're building this strategy for their traveling, and they put it together, they've implemented it, and now they've proven it. So I'm proud of them. I can't wait to see how they show at Wild West Showdown, but I'm also proud of the extra roughs and the guest skaters, everybody else. It's been a great second game of the 4 season.
Great to see everyone out there skating. As you said, it was a mixed roster of different skaters from different places. We had some new skaters, some different abilities there. We had some great veteran skaters. I think the veterans kind of really showed through. I think the stars of Filibuster, if you have to name a few, would be Just Julie on defense. Skatey Bright also really showed her stuff on defense, and Bonnie Fresh. But then Kim Bustable as a jammer. Roland Marvel was great as a jammer as well, but you got to say Kim Bustable was, really took control of that match. Yeah.
Yep. They're doing their victory lap.
There we go. We're coming around, victory lap. All right, you guys, way to go.
So that is the final score. Filibusters, Rolling APOC just gave us the thumbs up. Final score 210 to 170, and wins the next game.
I have no idea, but I know we're going to have it here at 360 North.
Yes.
Online at 360north.org, and I know it's going to be just as much fun as this has been. Money Honey, so great to do this as always with you. Thanks so much. Appreciate the entire crew here at 360 North, and for all of us here at 360 North. I'm In Decline. For Money Honey, we're out. See you next time here at Juneau Rollergirls.
Watch us on YouTube.